Good morning. Welcome. Second edition, Coach's Corner. My name is Coach Daoud, head men's basketball coach at Penn State Lehigh Valley. Fresh off the heels of a recent contest at Penn State Greater Allegheny, I have with us this morning those whom I call the Magnificent Seven. Seven of our current players on Penn State Lehigh Valley men's basketball team. Before we begin, I'd like to personally introduce each player, and I'd like for each one of you, once I call your name, to introduce yourself, tell the people what year you're in, and what high school you come from. All right, first off, we have Greg Bacone, number 5, who plays guard for us. Greg?
I'm a sophomore here, and I graduated from Liberty High School.
Okay. Next we have Ryan Dieter, plays guard, number 10.
I'm a freshman at Bethel Catholic High School.
Okay. Next we have number 12, Steve Lisetsky. He's a guard as well.
I'm a junior from Parkland High School.
Okay, and we have next number 21, Manuel Trinidad. He's a forward. Manny?
Sophomore from Durham High School.
Okay. And next we have number 23, Brandon Colon, who plays forward.
I'm a sophomore and I graduated from Southern Lehigh High School.
Okay. And next we have Anthony Germani, number 24, who's also a forward.
I'm a sophomore from Central Catholic High School.
And last but not least, number 50, Brian Ferlino, who plays forward.
I'm a senior, and I graduated from Emmaus High School.
All right. Welcome, everyone. And we'll get started. You know, first of all, we want to remind everyone out there that this was our third official game in terms of intercollegiate basketball here at Penn State Lehigh Valley. Up until this point in the history of the school, there had not been an intercollegiate men's basketball program. Therefore, it's pretty historic. So our third game, and as the coach, I must say players are getting better, getting used to and familiar with what it takes to be a college athlete, what it takes to compete at the college level, and how strenuous it is on your body and your mind physically to compete and do your schoolwork and all the other responsibilities that young people have throughout their life. The last game we played was at Penn State Greater Allegheny, and that game, I must say, was by far our best outing. We had 3 guys in double figures. Anthony Germani, who had total points 11. Ryan Dieter, who had total points of 10. And our leading scorer for the game, Steve Lisetsky, with 15. It was actually a breakout game for Steve. I don't think he would mind if I informed the listeners that the previous 2 games, he didn't do quite well. Not that he's not a good enough player, and I've told him this over and over. Great shooter, just need to be more confident in his abilities and go ahead and just let things flow. He did that last game, came out smoking, and ended up high score with 15 points. I want to talk to Steve directly for a few minutes. Steve, what was the difference for you in terms of how you performed in the game at Greater Allegheny, scoring 15 total points, as opposed to the first 2 games where you virtually were non-existent?
I think I'm just getting used to playing on the court more. I'm more in shape now. Speed of the game isn't as different as it was to start out with, and I came out more confident. I found my shot early, which made it easier down the stretch to keep hitting more shots.
True. It seemed as though you were more comfortable. Okay.
I'm going to turn this on and put it back here.
All right. It's not hitting enough.
It's not. See that iPad right behind you? Grab that.
Great passes for
Well, see, hey.
Okay, I'm going to put this back here.
Watch it, man.
Yeah, just
Don't start getting. Don't be your normal self. You gotta
Okay.
be kind of
That might get
composed.
you guys back there a little better. Okay.
So
I
we're
can go over again.
all right. Which part?
I don't know who's back.
Steve?
Last 15.
So should I ask the question again, or should he just?
No, you just respond.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Ask the question.
All right, I'll ask the question.
Gotta make it flow naturally.
I know. Okay, Steve, tell us about what the difference was in terms of how you approached the game, how you were feeling at Greater Allegheny, scoring 15 points and being our leading scorer, as opposed to how you played the first two games where you were virtually non-existent in terms of scoring.
The last game I think that came out, the pressure wasn't as intense. I was definitely a lot more relaxed and more confident. And I found my shot early, which let me keep hitting jumpers down the road.
So you would say that the first two games was definitely a rude awakening in terms of the speed of the game, the length of the game, two 20-minute halves, 35-second shot clock. Games is very long and it's very tiring and strenuous. So it's very difficult to perform when physically you're not in shape. And even though we practice and prepare, you cannot, and there's no substitute for the game. You have to play the game and get in game shape. So this was our third game. So hopefully for Steve, there's better days to come as he becomes more acclimated to the game and the speed of the game and the physical challenges of the game. Thanks, Steve. Next up, Anthony Germani had 11 points, was second leading scorer for him as well. I have a lot of confidence in Anthony. I tell him over and over, especially during the game, how good a player he could be. This 11 points was just a small indication. Some of the moves that he made during this game at Greater Allegheny were just incredible against some much tougher, much bigger opponents. Give us your opinion, Anthony, about how you were able to overcome some of the obstacles in terms of your size and the speed of the game, and were able to contribute and ultimately become the second leading scorer in that game.
Well, the game, as I played more, the game just kind of slowed down for me. They went into zone in the second half, and we were able to get more open looks, a lot more open jumpers, go to the basket more, and it was just the game slowed down a lot.
Well, I'll tell you personally, Anthony's being a little modest because he didn't get a lot of open shots. His shots were contested. He made good shot fakes, good penetrating moves to the basket, and was really effective, from the foul line in terms of scoring. And that's where I think, because of his style and the way he plays, he can be very effective there. Again, he just needs to have confidence in himself and not be afraid to make mistakes. I think one of the problems with having guys that are not accustomed to playing at this level is making mistakes. And it's a part of the game, and I tell these guys that all the time, that it's a part of the game, and you must overcome that. Just play through it. You make mistakes, that's how you learn. It's the process of learning. Next off, we have Mr. Ryan Dieter, Deadeye Dieter, had third leading scorer, 10 points. And I want to preface this about Ryan is that he's probably gets the most flack of anyone on the team because he has to handle the ball, and he's not what I would consider the point guard, but he has to play that position. He's our best ball handler in terms of against defenses, so I put a lot on his shoulders. He has to carry the team in terms of handling the press, making the right decisions, handling pressure, and scoring, because I need him to score as well. But at the end of the day, he never complains. He puts on his hard hat and he goes to work. So we definitely appreciate his efforts. So Ryan, with that, you've had some good games, couple games. So today, in terms of last game, what was the difference in terms of being out there?
It just felt better as a whole as a team. I think we played harder and more focused and all. I think in general, there's better effort from our team.
Did it seem easier in terms of we instituted a new offense in terms of playing against a man-to-man defense? Did you seem more comfortable after we started going a little while, and it seemed as though you guys were able to figure it out a little bit better? And did the game seem to slow down to you a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. And we put a new press rate too.
Okay.
Which helped out good.
Okay.
So it was less tiring for us as a whole. I think we're in better shape this game.
No question. And I think also, the more we practice, the more we go up against competition, the better we're going to become at handling all the adversities that we're going to face. I want to introduce our next player. These guys are definitely guys, maybe don't contribute as much in the box scores as terms of scoring, but in terms of their development and approach to the game, they're very open and learning. And like I told all of them, they are getting better. So I just want to get their opinion in terms of how they felt about the game. A guy who, for the first time, had to be a starter. And he was kind of shell-shocked, but at the end of the day, he did a pretty good job, and we're definitely proud of him. Didn't light up the box scores, but he was definitely a factor out there and helped us in our efforts. That's Brandon Cologne. Brandon, how'd you feel about the game on Saturday? Excuse me.
It felt good. I was definitely in better shape. In the first two games, I was able to play the whole game, most of it at least. I wasn't able to score, but I was able to just play good defense and try to get rebounds and stuff like that.
Now, you did a great job, Brandon, and I will piggyback on that in terms of his stamina. I think that's part of just getting in shape, and he does, have a challenge with that, but he's getting better. And again, I will remind everyone that college basketball games are 20-minute halves, 2 halves, 40 minutes. It's a long grind. And you're out there, trying to run up and down that floor. We don't have the numbers maybe that some other teams have because it's our first year. So we're doing the best that we can. So these guys have to play a lot of minutes. I can give you the minutes right off the top, okay? Brandon Cologne, 37 minutes out of 40, okay? Anthony Germani, 37 minutes out of 40. Gregory Pacone, 26 minutes out of 40. Ryan Dieter, 40 out of 40. Ryan Dieter didn't come out the game. He played the entire game. No one does that. That's pretty good. I mean, same 20 minutes we play is the same 20 minutes North Carolina plays, Maryland, and everyone else. So it's a long game. You don't see those guys standing for 40 minutes. It's tough. And Steve Leseski stayed in for 34 minutes, and Manny 20, and Brian 8, which he had the lowest number. Next, we're going to go to Manuel Trinidad, who didn't light up the box scores as well, had an opportunity, but missed a little chipper. It was we thought he had it, but it just got away from him. I know next time he's out there and he's in that situation, he's definitely going to get it done. I know. So with that, Manny, how'd you feel about the game and your performance?
Man, I kind of dropped a couple balls. I mean, I'm mostly in basically defensively. I'm better at defense than my offense. So, and I was actually guarding one of the big men pretty good. I mean, he even said it to me. Like, "Oh, you guarded me pretty good." Like, thank you. But I feel like we played better as a whole compared to the other games. Like other games, we were like more confused, didn't know how to react. It's getting more comfortable for us. I mean, we got a couple things to work on still, but I'm not mad about our performance. I think we were pretty good.
No, you're right, and you coined it perfectly. We're getting better. We have some things obviously we need to work on, and the more comfortable we become with the game itself, the better we'll be. And that's what I want to kind of, ring home to you guys always. Next up, Greg Pacone. Greg played 26 minutes. He had a total of 3 rebounds. He had 3 defensive rebounds. He's a little guy, so that helped us a lot. We definitely are, short on big men. So anytime we can get a rebound, that's a great thing. So, Greg, how do you feel about your performance in terms of how it differed from the first 2 games?
I feel like I was a lot more focused this game and definitely a little more confident. And we played a lot better, less turnovers and stuff, so that helped. Overall, we do need a lot to work on, but I just need to be more confident shooting-wise also and not be as anxious.
No question. He hit it right on the head. These guys are great, man. They listen and repeat everything I tell them, which is good. So he is. He can play. He just needs to be a little bit more confident, be sure about his shot and not be, so anxious. And I think that comes with time. And these guys, it's new again. And the more we play, I expect them to get better. So we appreciate his effort, and he's a hard worker. Next up, we have Brian Ferlino. He is our newest member. Had not been with the team from the original roster. Brian has recently come on. How many? You've been about a week and a half, Brian? Yeah, about a week and a half. So Brian didn't get as much playing time. He's still trying to learn some of the things that we do in terms of strategy, but nevertheless is a contributor. And so he doesn't have anything to refer to in terms of the last two games, but at least he could tell me and us how he felt about the game in general and what he felt and what it was like to be out there on the floor in a college basketball game.
It felt good being out there because it was the first time I ever actually played a sport for a school. And the first game the first time I played, I was a little bit nervous, but after playing for a little bit, I kind of get over that. I mean, I saw improvements on this game. Improved a lot as compared to the last two games.
Sounds like the same situation for being here in this program that he had when he got in the game. A little nervous, but as you go along, you get better at it. So that's a little bit about how it was in terms of from last week to this week. We played at Penn State Greater Allegheny, and then the game before that was at Mount Alto. Both in losing efforts, but that's not what we focus on. We focus on the development and the progress that the kids make on a regular basis, and that's what's important to us. So hopefully we can continue to do that as we go on in our regular season. Our next game is a home game. It's Monday, November 28th at Southern Lehigh High School, and it begins at 7 p.m. Any of you guys out there listening, hopefully you could come by and support us. The guys would appreciate it. I think you'll be pleased with how they play, the performance, and the effort that they give. We definitely need people out to support the program. These guys give a lot to be out there and to practice every night and to travel and to play these games. So the least we can have from our community and from the university is to have faculty and students and friends and family come out and support these guys. So hopefully we'll see you guys out there. That's going to conclude this edition of Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Daoud, head men's basketball coach at Penn State Lehigh Valley, and we'll see you next time.